Michael, it's always good to see you. And one theme that you mentioned, I've heard a few others float recently as well, is the idea that maybe the president goes easier in terms of drug pricing from here on out if he is reelected.
Hey, great to be here with you. And I agree. I certainly think if you look back at the last 6 months, there has been an increased pressure on these companies with the executive orders, of course, and of course from the Democratic campaign as well. A lot of mustering about drug pricing since it appeals so much to voters. I do think that in the short term, you're likely to see less criticisms of these companies, certainly until this calms down a bit. And let's see what happens with the election, with vaccines as well. Also a bit of a temporary until we talk about 2021.
Would Regeneron and Gilead be two of your investment recommendations, Michael? Or are there others that you think are better positioned?
No, we agree with that. I think the key focus for us is talking about companies with treatments or vaccines, but certainly have a whole breadth of additional pipeline behind it. Regeneron obviously seen a nice move on their treatment opportunity as well, and the data that Meg referred to last week. Gilead, widely been talked about with remdesivir, but certainly these companies I would emphasize, as well as Moderna, a whole host of things beyond it. I do think that particularly with the vaccine data, which I will repeat, probably is coming from Pfizer in the next few weeks, probably going to see a bump up in the vaccine stocks. And with biotech, I think for the short to medium term, and we'll turn again to the election right after that, which is a whole bigger swing factor, I think, on this market and these stocks.
Michael, a lot of us are thinking about the vaccine now, not as a one-off binary event where it's kind of, all right, this vaccine works and it's getting out there in the market and, the pandemic's over. You realize it's going to first be phased out to those frontline workers. It's going to take some time for it to be available to the rest of the population, for a lot of the population to trust it. So for investors, would you also say that maybe it's not such a binary event, or could we still see big moves based on who's able to come out and say the vaccine works, it's ready to hit the market?
I think for the next 3 to 6 months, you're going to see a lot of volatility. First, with the move up in a lot of these vaccine stocks. First, just as a de-risking event that they do work, Kelly. These stocks are down 20, 30% since the summer. So I do think you'll get a relief rally on some of that. I do think that the sort of second wave phase with these vaccine stocks and probably with biotech as well as differentiation as to whether the Moderna data is much better than the Pfizer data, or what I'm out there selling people is I do think that those will be better than the AstraZeneca data, which again, I point out hasn't even been resumed in the United States. And I do think there's going to be a lot of differentiation, a lot of investor debate about that. I will tell people to pay attention in 2021 when you'll get a third wave of these where Merck and J&J and a lot of these have one injection vaccines as well. And then there's going to be a debate about those. So I do think we'll see a move up, but I do think that there's going to be quick investor focus shifting towards some of those next wave stocks.
Interesting. Michael, as always, thank you, sir.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.